All right, today I'm working on this E46. This is a 2005 330 Ci with the ZHP package. Great car, but unfortunately it kind of has been one of these situations where it's one thing after the other. We thought we were in the clear. We had a cooling system issue, got that resolved, and went in for smog. And sure enough, there were some hidden codes that weren't triggering a check engine light pertaining to the secondary air injection pump system. And if you're unfamiliar, that's that pump to the left of the engine. It's a big round cylinder. It runs for, I don't know, 30 seconds to a minute and a half when you first boot the car up. And you can see, yep, codes found. We're gonna go here and read them. No, we do not want to delete stored data. So we're gonna pull this engine code here. Stored codes. And yep, secondary air injection system incorrect flow detected. Now, I've already traced this down to what appears to be a failed diverter valve, and this is a common issue. This car has been parked for a long time, and that seems to be one of the contributing factors. These things do get moisture in them from the combustion process and just from that air injection pump, especially here in Southern California near the coast. But if we do jump back here, we've got some other codes we'll have to dig into, but we're going to tackle one thing at a time, some pending codes, and this is fairly common BMW code, and it's going to come up with some engine bank cylinder or engine banks too lean. So bank 2 is too lean, bank 1 is too lean. So looks like we've got a global air leak, probably in the intake system somewhere, possibly in a vacuum line. So hopefully it's an easy, quick fix. The airbox has been in and out of this thing quite a bit. So, but jumping back, going over this architecture for this air injection pump. These run for, I don't know, 30 seconds to a minute and a half. And it's this right here. It goes to this diverter valve. I've already popped off the hose here, which you can do by squeezing these serrated parts. And a quick test you can do is when you've got the car running, you can put your hand over this. And if the valve has failed in the closed position, you shouldn't really feel any flow airwise coming through this. Now, if this has failed in the open position, you're gonna feel that crankcase pressure in real time. And that's not the ideal failure. You want it to fail in the closed position. If it fails open, that means that that air is going into your injection pump, and generally that's going to take out the injection pump because of the temperature and the humidity. Now, architecturally, these later models do not have the vacuum line to actuate the valve. This is just a regular valve with a hose. And when you pull this valve off, which I actually already have on this, you should be able to blow through this port here and get airflow pretty easily. I've got the new part here that I got from FCP Euro. This was about a $100 part. They've got a California warehouse now, so I got it in just a couple days, which is awesome. And on this system here, so you've got a secondary mass airflow sensor. And from what I can tell from the system architecture, whenever this gets blocked, it will only allow this to run for a few seconds before it shuts the pump down to protect it, since it does not detect any flow. Now, after we replace this valve, we'll have to clear this code out. Otherwise, this will continue to short cycle and just run for about 5 seconds before it shuts down. And then, of course, once we clear the codes, we're gonna have to drive it for a period of time until it has readiness status to be able to pass smog. And hopefully our lean codes are gonna clear out. If not, my next point is to check the intake here. And unfortunately, as you can see, this has been parked long enough. We do have some critter activity, so hopefully we don't have a chewed vacuum line or a chewed intake manifold boot or something that's not immediately visible, because I really don't want to tear down the top half of this engine. Now, on the removal front, this is going to be much easier to get at if you can take the windshield washer fluid reservoir out of the way. Very easy. You've got a hose on the bottom, you've got a pigtail for the pump, and then you've got another pigtail for the sensor, and this is what tells you when your level is getting low. Critical tool to get this. These are two 10mm bolts, and they're tucked in here. A 10mm socket with a swivel is going to let you get in here on either side of these. And one, in my case, I've got one of these came out. Those studs should stay in the cylinder head, but due to age, one of them came out, one of them stayed. But real easy to pop this thing out of the way here. We'll go ahead and do that. All right, so when you're doing this, if you look through this little gap here, you can just see that bolt on the left side, and universal is critical. I'm gonna press on the back of the ratchet here, just keep everything centered so it doesn't pop off. And then I can get it cracked loose. Once it's loose, I'll pop the ratchet off, and then I'll just spin it off by hand here. I can drop that extension down to get a straighter shot. And you can see this is the one that the stud comes out. That should actually stay in the cylinder head, but this is old enough. This nut's pretty jammed on there. Not a big deal. We'll go ahead and set that out of the way. And then we'll do the same thing on the right side here. Right side's much easier to get at. Crack that loose. Don't drop your nut like I did. And then we've got the valve off. And you can hear when I blow through, nothing. So that's your first real quick test, is blow through this and you should be able to get flow. If you're playing a trumpet. If you've got no flow, this thing is stuck. Just real quick, we're just gonna jump back in, and if we go down to pending codes, we have another code that's pertaining, this 1412, that's that secondary air injection system. And if we cycle through, we've got the lean codes for bank 2 and bank 1. So if we jump back out, this thing's a little counterintuitive. You can't just hit erase when you're on the code. We've got to go back a couple screens here, drop down, go to erase codes. Erase codes, are you sure? Yes. Enter. Press the key, continue. So now, when we turn the car on here, we should see that thing do a cycle and not shut off after just a few seconds. Okay, so we fired back up, and this thing is staying on now. Now, interestingly, before I just cleared the code on the reader, the key was already in position 2, and I started it up, and it just did a short cycle. Whereas this last time I pulled the key all the way out, put it in, started it up, and it definitely ran longer. Codes are cleared. So we go through now. If we go to read codes, stored codes, no codes are stored. I think we're probably still going to be showing these pending codes here. No pending codes are stored. Okay, good. So everything's clear. So hopefully those other codes go away now that we fix this air pump. But now we need to go on a test drive and see what we can get after we get some miles on this. You know, you can tell right now, before these were all lit green. Now we've got an X on evap, O2 sensor, and this HRT. Before, this HCAT and EGR were also grayed out. That should stay the same, but these are no good because we haven't done a full driving cycle for them to establish their self-checks and give themselves a green light. So this is where we have to go out and do some driving, and these should go to green. Having a code reader is really handy because you'll know exactly when they do go to green, so you don't have to waste your time. And my hope here is I can get this thing smogged today and we are home free. And of course, one thing to keep in mind, by the way, can you tell my hood lifters failed? These only run when the cats are cold. So if you are trying to troubleshoot if your pump itself is bad or not, and you're starting this up on a warm engine, this isn't going to come on. So don't let a warm engine throw you down the wrong track and think that your pump has failed and go drop $207 for a new one. You have to start this on a cold engine for this to cycle on. So if the engine's warm and you shut it down and you restart it, it's not going to run.